Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Julian, and this is Libby, and together we make up BoxedMeeples. Well, today for Favourite Game Friday, we are talking about mini expansions. Those little extra bits that just add a tiny bit to the game, but add that little bit of spice.
They do indeed. Sometimes a lot of spice. And my pick, we're talking about spice. I can't really go with June, can I? Because it's not a mini expansion, but it did make me think of it. But we have been playing an awful lot of sea salt and paper lately because we've been travelling. It's so easy to take away. You would have seen us mention it in various videos of recent times about what we're taking on honeymoon and all sorts of things like that. And of course, this teeny tiny little box has just enough room to fit a few extra cards in the extra salt expansion, and this expansion does just mix things up a little bit and give you a few different options. So you've got in there some jellyfish to sort of sting your opponent. If you're playing that combination with the swimmer, instead of taking the card, you're kind of stunting them from being able to do certain things on their next turn, so stunning them in effect. You've got lobsters that you can marry up with crabs that give you a different benefit. You've got starfish there, which effectively allow you to make a trio. I mean, you don't then get the action of the pair that you're adding them to, but they do add more points, so sometimes that is really useful. And then of course you've got the seahorses in there as well, which kind of act like a wild card. So if you're doing that set collection, the different numbers you're trying to collect to get more and more points with more you get, of course if you can add a seahorse to that, it really can rank up the scoring at the end of the game. And we found that they really did make an impact to how we were playing the game and what options we were taking. We were taking that set collection option much more frequently than we might have previously.
Yeah. Especially if you get it early doors, because then you can use it for any kind of set collection.
Yeah.
And say, well, okay, now I've got a lot of those, I can just make it even bigger.
Yeah. And so as long as someone doesn't kind of swim a shark nab that off you, which can be awkward, not sore here at all, then it does really give you more options. I'm still going to play this game until I manage to get all 4 mermaids, which I nearly did. I nearly did, but not quite managed that. So until that happens, then that's sort of perfect game. I'll probably then be reveling in that for a while and still want to play lots. But it just has added a few little extra bits and bobs to the game.
We've played it so much, and it's nice to go, that's interesting, that's new. And it also it changes the dynamic of what's in the deck, because obviously the deck becomes that little bit larger.
Yeah, and you're obviously keeping an eye on your opponents, thinking, oh, what are you trying to pick up? What are you trying to do? It can keep you on your toes.
Now, another game we've played an awful lot is, of course, Distilled, and Cask Strength has come out, which is a 55-card expansion for this fantastic game.
Hold on. Can we just mention how cute that box looks?
And
how it reminds me of the Jack Daniels cards that you find in all sorts of places. I just think, congrats, design of this box. Brilliant.
So this does all the things you would expect in a kind of normal expansion to. You get extra kind of distillery upgrades, you get kind of new and improved premium ingredients, which was a bit exciting when they come out, which you can remove some of the premiums in the base game and just replace them with all this, or just add them all in. We've got new flavours for when you're aging your whiskies, but the most exciting part of it is actually the dynamic market. And these cards you draw at the start of the phase, and that adjusts the prices of some of the things in the market. You do get to see the one that's coming up as well, so you get to know what's happening now and also what's about to happen, which means you start having to weigh up, what am I going to buy this round? And that adds such a lot to the gameplay, particularly at 2 players, because then it becomes a point of, I was about to go all out getting kind of my wheat sugars, but now they're more expensive. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now. Maybe I should wait for the following turn when I can get them a lot cheaper.
But then has that set you back?
Yeah, and if you're aiming to, okay, but I need to get this in to make my whiskey, which I'm going to age, and I want to age it 5 times, we're in round 2, that's going to set that back. I'm now sacrificing a flavour card, for example. So just that kind of unpredictability of the market does add a lot. I think Distilled is a kind of entry-level plus kind of game. You can explain it to people who've not played many of these games, but I find just having this dynamic market really does take it up a level of complexity in a wonderful way, which just keeps it dynamic and keeps it fluid.
And there are some really interesting cards in that pack.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of, what the thing is named after, the Cask Strength card, because this one is a bit of a game changer. It allows you to sell an aged whiskey on the turn you distill it. You don't have to bottle it, but you have to give up, what it's been distilled in. Which means if you haven't got this kind of spare ones of those, you're having to then buy quite a lot for the following round.
Yeah.
But if you play this towards the end of the game, you can get all the benefits you have of creating an aged whiskey and still be able to sell it. Which is, a big difference of being able to place that token, which allows you to get certain objectives as well. So you're placing up that label still. And that's really, really interesting. It does add so much more to the final round. So when this comes up, I was like, oh, okay, who's going to go for it? 'Cause it's quite expensive card. It's a 5 card.
Yeah,
it doesn't reward you a lot. It's only a point for the upgrade. So yeah, it's quite an expensive card when it does come up. But you're just going, okay.
But could it be worth it? Yeah, you need to play it.
It's a good one.
And other ones like the flavour cards here, you've got sherried, and it gives you a different ability. So when you are selling your spirit, then you can have a look at these flavors and maybe replace one with another one, the top card from the deck. So if you have got a really awful, in this bunch here, sandy, does anyone want a beverage that tastes sandy?
Yeah.
Is it gritty as well? Let's hope not. So that's only a 1 coin, whereas if the top one from the deck happened to be a little bit pricier, then you could be gaining that little bit more with your gameplay. So it just adds that little ability to mix things up a bit more.
And it's because the flavor cards in the base game are just kind of fun reveals. They're various different points, but at the end of it, it's like, oh, I've made a whiskey that tastes of this, and this.
Yeah, I made a chocolate cinnamon whiskey the other day, and I was like, absolutely, yes.
So having just some abilities on these cards, it kind of adds a little bit extra to it. So lots of little kind of tiny additions that does add a significant amount of complexity to the game distilled. So if you played a lot, you may want to get hold of this.
Yeah, we love little mini expansions. Which ones do you love that just add maybe a few cards like these do, or something small to the game, but it just does hike it up another level, or give it just more oomph, more spice when you're playing? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
And if you want to get any mini expansions, good place to go is your friendly local game store. And for us, that is of course Chaos Cards. And if you're shopping online at Chaos Cards, we as always have a discount in the description, which you can use to save yourself some money at the checkout.
But for us, we would love it if you would subscribe if you're not already. As I've said, we'd love to hear from your comments, and of course like the video if you have indeed liked it, which fingers crossed you have. But for now, that's us. Bye.